So this is a scraper project. So what is scraping is basically extracting data directly from the websites. That is called web scraping, and we're using a library called Cheerio, JavaScript library, to do the same thing. Now, what it says is we have to enter a Codechef username, and it retrieves automatically the profile information of that particular username in Codechef. All right. We have the main component where the input fields and button and with the display section, comments and placeholders showing where code needs to be written, and that's it. All the libraries are installed, so I don't need to install anything. Okay, so let me jump into the code. So the first we have a function called app where we have the state variables, that is profile, and set profile is to modify the state variable, loading to set loading to modify it, error and username. Similarly, set error and set username to modify it, where profile and loading are initially, profile is null and loading is false, and both error and username are initially empty. Now we try to get the backend domain directly. After that, we have a function to fetch the profile of that particular user when you give the username. Now, if there is no username, then you return. If the user doesn't enter any username, and if the username is entered, then we have to set the loading as true, that it says something like fetching, and then after that we have to set the previous error to null. If there is any error, then we have to make it empty, and the profile we have to again make it null for the previous thing. For a new search, we have to again remove the previous profile, so we have to set it as null. Now I have to try to we have to try and get the response from the backend. So you have to fetch the data by making a URL with the username, the personalized username of that particular user. If there is no response, then we have to throw whatever error it says, then we have to give that error. Now if there is a response, then it has to wait till the response, and then after that it has to convert it into JSON object, and then it has to store it into set profile data. So then whatever error you have thrown here, it is getting cached here, and then after that, after everything is done, then finally we set the set loading as false, because it is already loaded. Now we set it as false. Now we have to handle the form submission. So we have a button for submission. So it is handle submit. So when the user clicks, it doesn't do by default. When you click it, it goes to the fetch profile function is called. Now we have the heading as Codechef profile tracker, and then we have a small paragraph saying track your Codechef progress and statistics when you enter your Codechef username. After that, we have to enter the username, and the placeholder of the username says enter Codechef username, and loading is disabled for now. Now after that, we have a button submit, where when you click on submit, this function is called for handling. Now if the username is not there, or if it is loading, then we have to disable the submit button. Now, once the submit button is it is loading. Now, when the loading stops, if from searching, it goes to get profile. All right. Now, the same thing here we have for. Now we have to display where we have a profile container where the profile information is present, and we have to display the same with name, username, affiliation, and then country. So all these are mentioned with these are the various ways of extracting that particular thing. Now after that, we have one more section called ratings and rankings. So here you have to show the current rating and highest rating, number of stars, global rank, whatever it is. It is the how do you extract that is basically profile.current rating, profile.highest rating, etc. This is basic stuff. Now we have a profile statistics section. So in this, it shows the total number of questions solved. So it says this Codechef user ID has solved this many questions. Now after that, we have a participation summary. So where the user number of total contests, that is profile.total contest, and learning path and practice path. So all these are mentioned also in this particular thing. Now, so when I click on run, so when you say it still says failed to fetch profile. We'll be fixing this in the next part. So let me submit the program. So all the excuses have passed, and that's it for this video. See you in the next video. Thank you.